team, listen up. It's tailgating time again in Tennessee. But most importantly, team, you're going to need to refi that tailgate and the truck it's attached to with a refinanced auto loan with Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union with their Got That promotion. They'll give you up to $500 for your debt. Are you serious, Coach? That's right, Johnny. Alcoa 10 will pay you up to $500 for your debt. Now, let's get out there and spread the word. Say it with me. Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10.
ATFCU is an equal housing lender.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Wednesday, I've been waiting on you. Just the best day of the week. Midweek. Here on the Swain Event, we got some practice to talk about. Tennessee, lots and lots of things going on. College football nationwide. 865-200-5503 is the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Appreciate you for your ears this morning, however you are listening. If it is on the Swain Event app, free for Android Apple devices, thank you. If it's on Rocky Top Sports, 850 AM, 100.9 FM, or streaming us online at SwainEvent.com, thank you, thank you, thank you. And last but not least, Swain Event TV, driven by Toyota Knoxville, and ToyotaKnoxville.com, Periscope, Facebook Live, and also YouTube. We really, really, really thank you and appreciate you this morning. Ben McKee, Charlie Burris, Jason Swain here with you for 3 whole hours. Good morning, individuals. Everybody rocking their the team.
Good morning, individuals. It is hump day.
It is hump day, man. It is hump day.
I'm ready. I'm ready for basketball season. So
what?
Yeah, you got that basketball shirt on.
I'm ready for basketball season. I was obviously I'm still excited for football season, but I'm excited for both. For the first time in a long time, I was listening to Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio yesterday. He was doing an interview, and he said that Tennessee and Kentucky are 2 of the 5 best teams in basketball this season, and that they're going to play 2, probably 3 times, including the SEC tournament, and that got me fired up for some Tennessee basketball.
Yeah, I know why you fired up, man. I know, I get it. Big news that the Lady Vols and UConn will renew the rivalry. I understand, Ben. You're super excited. The rivalry will be renewed.
I'm excited about that.
2019, 2020. So, yeah, man, I guess that is why you are pumped up, Ben.
Yes, I'm pumped up to watch the Lady Vols destroy the Connecticut Huskies.
That's right.
In 2019 and 2020.
You got no chance, Gino.
No chance at all, Gino.
No chance. We got Candace Parker. We got Shamika Holsclaw, Tamika Catchings on the squad this year.
Everybody's coming back.
We are ready. We are ready to go.
We might have Dawn Staley as the head coach.
See what had happened with us. This is a little awkward here. You have times on this show where it gets really weird, gets really awkward, but you still got a job to do. You still got to do your thing and talk about the topics. But I'll tell you, this is awkward. This is awkward. I mean, of all the times to schedule UConn, I don't know if this is the right time to schedule UConn as things currently sit for the Lady Vol program. You know how, like, you've been, maybe picked on in school, you're a little scrawny, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to go and work out, get my confidence up, maybe take some karate, learn a couple moves, whatever, so that way I'm prepared for the opportunity. If the opportunity ever arises where I have to, defend myself and throw some hands, let me make sure I'm prepared. Let me throw up some weights. Let me learn some jiu-jitsu, Jet Li style. And then you ready to go. You walk around school with your chest out. You wish somebody would mess with you then. I wish somebody would run up on me.
Better not look at me sideways.
Now that I've been pumping the iron, taking a couple, creatine tablets. I got some deer antler spray. I got some vibranium. I'm prepared now. Let's go. You want to go with me? Let's do it. Because you've worked at it. You're prepared. I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't know if you want to go, pick on the big bully when you're not prepared. You haven't done anything. You're at your weakest point in the program in decades.
It's like taking the ACT without studying.
Is this smart to do right now? I sound so
Probably
weak
not.
and soft, and I know that. But we gotta be smart here.
Well, it's a lot like Tennessee football recently trying to get another home and home with Oklahoma. Wait, why? Why are you doing that?
Why?
You don't need to do that.
Not right now.
Now, I'm conflicted here because in my childhood, growing up in Knoxville, Tennessee, we had season tickets to Lady Vol basketball games. And so a big chunk of my childhood is this game. I mean, it was huge. The women could sell out the arena with this game, and the men never could. It was like that. And so, this is a seminal moment in terms of the Tennessee fandom that I grew up with. And so I love to see it come back. And it was a shame when it ended, and it ended because
pettiness.
It just got really, really bitter, and Gino was cheating, and Pat wasn't having it. And, it was a whole thing. And so I'm happy to see it come back, but I don't know that I'm happy to see it come back with Holly Borlick as Tennessee's coach.
Well,
if I have to be totally straight down the middle, 100% honest.
The whole Gino cheating thing, I didn't hear that he was cheating. I heard that he did. He said some things during the recruiting process that was, I guess, below the belt. And SEC football is pretty standard. But women's basketball, word had got back to Tennessee about what Gino was telling recruits about Tennessee, and Tennessee felt like it was below the belt, and that's why they ended the rivalry. I haven't heard anything about Gino cheating.
My understanding
I'm not going to say that it didn't happen because it is college sports.
My understanding was, at least in part. I think that a lot played into it.
Okay. And
was the recruitment of Maya Moore, I believe.
It was Maya Moore and how she was. They use ESPN to recruit her, and Gino said some things about Tennessee, the culture of Tennessee, that he didn't allow at UConn, and Tennessee folks didn't like it, and they ended the rivalry. So I don't ever care about other team cheating. Sorry. If you are someone that tweets me or reaches out to me and want to tell on another squad cheating, I don't really care. I'm not the person that points fingers. I don't care. I hope everybody cheats. If you want to cheat to get recruits, go for it. I don't care. Go do it, because for me, the kid and the family wins. Like, hey, hook them up, whatever. I don't care. Work, they earned it. They worked hard. Cool, whatever. I'm not going to ever tell on the other school or get mad. I'm not going to hate the player when the game is the way it is, and it's been for a very long time. So I remember playing at Tennessee and going to this game when Diana Taurasi was at UConn, and going to the Lady Vol games and cheering our girls on. And those were some intense basketball games. Those were some great matchups. And, I don't know about this matchup. That's like, let's say Tennessee was not in the SEC. Or let's say Tennessee is in the SEC, because there's another good team out there, another powerhouse program. That would be like Tennessee right now in Pruitt's first year, not prepared really. You know what? Let's go schedule Clemson and Ohio State. Let's just go do it this year. That just wouldn't be smart. At least wait 2 or 3 years before you get, so you get your players, so you can have, your system, everything in place before you go out there and pick a fight with the biggest dude on the block. That's all I'm saying. And I'm saying the same thing about women's basketball. I know that we're bringing a lot of old things back. Football, people in the organization, in the program. I like some of the things that we're doing. It's the 20th year of the 1998 national champion, so we got the reunion going. A lot of good feelings. Bringing back the UConn rivalry right now.
I don't mind it. I kind of like it. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And while Tennessee may not be what it once was, if you look at the roster, it should be an even match in 2 or 3 years, because last year you signed the #1 recruiting class in the country. They will be juniors when you go to Connecticut, and they will be seniors when you play them at home. And then you just signed the #4 recruiting class in the country with several 5-stars, and they'll be sophomores with a bunch of playing time under their belt when they play at UConn, and then they'll be juniors when they play in Knoxville. So you should have a very talented, experienced team full of former McDonald All-Americans on your roster at that standpoint. The problem is I do not trust the coaching to develop the talent to the point it needs to be to beat UConn in 2 to 3 years. So the coaching aspect is the part that worries me, but I necessarily don't have a problem with scheduling it.
And I'll say this, and then we'll take our first break of the day. So I made the comparison to dealing with the bully. And before you decide to take on the bully, you go and you lift weights, and you take the karate classes, and you get your Jet Li on. You got to go prepare before you're ready to take on the bully. Well, at least Holly Warlick has enough time to prepare to take on the bully, which is Coach Gino. So there's time for Holly to do whatever she got to do, light some incense, have some rituals, whatever she got to do to get herself ready to go up against the best women's college coach in the game and one of the best ever. Do that. She got time. She's not playing them this year, but she got time. And like you said, Ben, there is talent on this Lady Vol basketball team. Anyways, I'm going to take a break, and we'll come back to this a little bit later. I know the Vols hit the practice field yesterday. Want to hear some updates there. We are a few days away from game week here. So the quarterback battle still has to be decided. We are approaching a scrimmage that I think will determine who the quarterback's going to be. Today, it's Wednesday, so we will be joined by Chris Lowe, ESPN. Also, we'll talk some Tennessee recruiting with Austin Price of AllQuest in hour 3. Kind of get the inside tracks, inside information about the type of players that Tennessee fans can expect to possibly be committing in Tennessee in the next 30, 45 days. So we got a packed show for you this morning. And, again, thank you for joining the show. 865-200-5503. B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We'll take our first break of the day. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Hour 1 of the Swain event is driven by Toyota Knoxville. Stop by Toyota Knoxville to see their great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. They are conveniently located off the Lovell Road exit at 10415 Parkside Drive, right here in Knoxville.
Get ready for a better school year by shopping the back-to-school sale at Better Mattress happening now. Whether you're a parent or a student, you know a good night's sleep makes a difference in your day. Whether it's the patience to sit in school traffic or the concentration you need to pass your test, a better night's sleep is super important for the whole household. Right now, choose a twin, full, or queen bundle deal, all starting at just $379. The back-to-school bundle deal from Better Mattress is everything you need in one stop for a better night's sleep. Get a mattress, box spring, frame, sheets, and a memory foam pillow, all delivered for free, starting at just $379. You choose the size twin, full, or queen, the price stays the same. We know one size doesn't fit all. Over a dozen different mattresses qualify for this offer. Have a better school year this year. Get the Better Mattress back-to-school bundle deal while supplies last. Tell them Seth sent you and ask to try my mattress. Don't wait, shop now. Chat live with a representative at bedrmattress.com. Good night just got better.
Having surgery can be scary, and having to navigate around a massive medical center can be even more overwhelming. Fortunately, the Premier Office-Based Surgery Center in Knoxville offers a convenient and affordable option for surgical care. Our skilled surgeons and friendly staff treat you just like family. Everything at our state-certified accredited center is designed with your comfort in mind, and Premier offers flat-fee package pricing for basic gallbladder and hernia procedures. Visit premiersurgerypackages.com for more details. The Premier Office-Based Surgery Center, surgical expertise you can trust.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a new slew of daily specials. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the Chipotle chicken salad, the chicken tender sandwich, or the kitchen sink burrito filled with brisket, pulled pork, and chicken, not to mention queso, jalapenos, and more. It's called the kitchen sink for a reason. Dead End isn't stopping at your plate, though. Be sure to check out their new summer drink offerings, including the Big Orange Crush, My Clementine, or the Tequila Squirt. There is always something new at Dead End Barbecue. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End Barbecue. The summer flavor search is over.
Gentlemen, get back in the game. Did you know that 1 out of every 3 men over 40 may have low testosterone? Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy. Do you know your numbers? Well, I know my numbers. Low T Center made it quick and easy. I walked in, I took a simple blood test, and I knew my result in about 20 minutes. Their service is even covered by most health insurance. So give them a call, 865-392-1388. That's 865-392-1388. 1388, or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
You're listening to the Swain event.
And you know this, man.
Eight 250-503 B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's go to the text box, and we'll be going to the text box and Facebook Live comments a lot today. So just make sure if you want your question or comment to be read, that you participate there and drop it in any point during the show. Aaron on the text box says, hearing rumors of another battle at Bristol with the possibility of playing Clemson. Or is there any truth to this? Thanks. Yeah, there's been some preliminary discussions about returning to Bristol, but I think the natural fit there to play against Tennessee would be at Clemson. That's probably the closest team in the area outside the SEC that would make this matchup very, very good with two teams on the football field that by the time Tennessee plays that game should be a whole lot better. And Clemson right now is one of the top 1 or 2, 3 programs in the country. So that is probably the natural fit there is to play Clemson. But yeah, I'm good on neutral site games for a while. I just really don't want to play any neutral site games right now. I like the home and homes, and I wish college football would kind of get back to more home and homes and allow for the local businesses to be able to benefit, because there's a lot of local businesses that doesn't matter if the team is winning or losing, they support the program unconditionally. And it will be just a great gesture to keep a home game during the season, because these are how these businesses are able to thrive and survive, is with Tennessee football or the college football that's in their town. So I don't like taking a game away from the local businesses. I'm okay with doing it every once in a while, but every single year I'm not a big fan. So I want to get back to the home and home.
I'd love to see Clemson and Tennessee in battle Bristol, though. I'm
tired. I would rather
see
the home and home.
I probably would too. But if we're doing neutral site games, that's the type of neutral site game that I want to see. I don't want to go to Charlotte and play West Virginia in the Carolina Panthers Stadium. That doesn't do anything to me from a stadium standpoint. I don't want to play Bowling Green in the Titan Stadium.
That was ridiculous.
And I was fine with the Georgia Tech game last year because Mercedes-Benz Stadium was opening and whatnot. That was a cool experience. But like this year, I don't care about playing in the Panther Stadium. I'd rather play at West Virginia. Let me go experience Morgantown.
A lot of it is for sponsors.
100%.
Because they're sponsored games. And I don't see a problem with, because college basketball actually does this to a certain extent, is having sponsors for the opening week home and home games. Like, why not? I think college basketball does, an NIT tip-off. And some of those games are just played in the home arenas of some of these teams, but it's the NIT tip-off brought to you by, whoever. Why can't you just do that for football?
With basketball, you have more of a difficulty getting people to the neutral site games, to whereas football, more people show up.
Well, the reason why you went to Nashville and you're going to Charlotte is
recruiting.
Number one is for recruiting, because remember a couple years ago, Tennessee had billboards in the mid-state, and mid-state was very, very, very important. And you lost guys like Von Bell, you lost guys like Jalen Ramsey and other people to other schools, and so the Jones staff really wanted to make the mid-state a priority, and playing that game they thought would be important. I didn't think it really mattered. It's Nashville. It ain't like it's Memphis. It'd be one thing if you were playing Memphis, somewhere like that, because it's such a disconnect between Knoxville and Memphis. It's Nashville. There's no reason to play Bowling Green at the Titan Stadium. I thought that was a waste. North Carolina is very important to Tennessee. You look at our recruiting class right now. You got some players committed to North Carolina. You have one player that is in North Carolina that is a top 5 player in the country that you're going all in for. You're going all in for. That's Quavaris Crouch. He could be a linebacker for you. He could be a running back. It's his choice, whatever you want. You can play that because he's just that special. So North Carolina is very special for Tennessee. I think it's a little gimmicky to have to schedule a game in another state just to recruit. That's not Tennessee. We don't have to do that. That's something that other schools have to do.
Especially not in Charlotte or Nashville.
You don't have to do that if you're Tennessee. I think the Alabamas, the Tennessees, the Texas, the USCs, programs like that shouldn't have to do all those things. They have enough resources to just play ball and recruit like they have been. I'm okay with it every once in a while. I just don't like it every single year. I go back to benefiting the local businesses. So moving on here on the text box, Volfan187 says, what do you guys think about teams going to the Jordan gear? You know, I'm okay with it. I think the kids would like it on our team. You know, Jordan is a cool brand. Yes, it does look weird in a football uniform. And, yes, you do have to worry about your players selling their merchandise, what happened in North Carolina. Honestly, I would be okay if Tennessee went back to Adidas. I know that Adidas is going to go over and beyond as far as the money that they pay out and the attention that you get. I know Coach Fulmer he was an Adidas fan, and Adidas shoes and cleats are actually better, honestly, than Nike. They just are. And I'm a Nike guy. I have been for a long time. I just started recently wearing Adidas, and honestly, Adidas is more comfortable. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real there. I look at Texas A&M. Texas A&M, they get all the attention. Now, Adidas has some of these smaller schools, but the big programs, Texas A&M is the one. So they go all out for Texas A&M, whereas Tennessee, you're just one of few. Nike doesn't even hold Tennessee to the same standard as Florida and North Carolina and Michigan and Oklahoma, because those guys are the premier. You know, Alabama, those guys get all the goodies, where when Adidas, it was Tennessee getting all that love. So it would be cool for the kids to get to wear Jordan, because Jordan is just the most popular with the young kids. But honestly, if you want to go comfortable, the best cleats, I think it's Adidas, and I'm just keeping it real. 865-250-503. DR Vol says, did y'all see the first secondary violation under Pruitt? Seems pretty petty and nitpicky by the NCAA. I think the headline is
really misleading.
A little misleading, to be honest.
Pruitt had absolutely nothing at all to do with this.
Nothing to do with it. According to Knox News Sentinel, a Tennessee athletic department staff member donated a single game football tickets for a Knox Catholic auction that aimed to raise money for the school's academic program and classroom technology. That's it. I mean,
shame.
That has nothing to do with Pruitt.
Yeah.
So I think the headline just like we are seeing in 2018, the headline is to suck you in, make you click on it, and if you don't read it, you would think that Pruitt's out here breaking the rules because he's a head coach and it's Tennessee football, and so the headline reads that, you know, Tennessee reports violation under Pruitt era. Dude, it has nothing to do with Pruitt. I'm okay with a little some secondary violations. I'm all right with that. I'm cool with that. You know,
don't be North Carolina.
Don't do the don't do the level one. If we're doing level one violations, you in Ole Miss territory. Level 3s and level 2s, you know, it happens. It happens. If you ain't bending the rules a little bit, if you ain't getting to the edge, you're not trying. So that's why you have a compliance office, to make sure that you don't cross that line. But, hey, get up close as you can to the line if you have to. That's kind of what everybody else is doing. So, yeah, I did see it, but the title was a little misleading there. You gotta have eye discipline, okay? Eye discipline. Don't just go by the title of the link. You got to click on it. You got to have eye discipline, okay? Coach Fulmer was interviewed yesterday talking about the 98 championship team, and details is what Coach Fulmer said. They really, really emphasize. Also, toughness. So you have the D and the T there.
You better stop it right now.
Anybody know what the last letter is?
U.
U. What does that U stand for?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Unselfishness.
Dutway.
That's the key to a championship. So the 17 team? Yeah, 17 team. They were just one letter off, man. Golly. one letter off from going undefeated rather than defeated inside the SEC.
Just imagine if Butch had put a U instead of an A, he'd still have his job and he'd still be
here. I know,
here.
Man. It's the little things.
What a shame.
It's the little things. So
it's a shame that somebody who put so much 63 effort and attention into the details that he couldn't get that detail correct.
Yep. It's not that way. It's Dut way. DUT. Details. Unselfishness. And toughness. That was what the 98 team possessed, according to Coach Fulmer. Talked to the media yesterday. And last year's team, had that way. Details, accountability, and toughness. One letter off. See? Makes all the difference.
What's the slogan for Pruitt this season? I haven't seen a single one.
Power by the T.
That's a recruiting thing, though, isn't it?
His slogan is "Don't lose football games." I think that's.
I don't think he has one.
Yeah, in general, it's
and that's. It's not unheard of to have slogans because Nick Saban had one after they lost to Clemson. It was, I think, "Don't waste a failure" or something like that. And listen, they work. They work. 865-200-5503. B-Drop Waterproofing Hotline. Be right back.
Hour 1 of the Swain event is driven by Toyota Knoxville. Stop by Toyota Knoxville to see their great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. They are conveniently located off the Lovell Road exit at 10415 Parkside Drive, right here in Knoxville.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Goes your car insurance.
Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Get ready for a better school year by shopping the Back to School sale at Better Mattress happening now. Whether you're a parent or a student, you know a good night's sleep makes a difference in your day. Whether it's the patience to sit in school traffic or the concentration you need to pass your test, a better night's sleep is super important for the whole household. Right now, choose a twin, full, or queen bundle deal, all starting at just $379. The Back to School bundle deal from Better Mattress is everything you need in one stop for a better night's sleep. Get a mattress, box spring, frame, sheets, and a memory foam pillow, all delivered for free, starting at just $379. You choose the size twin, full, or queen, the price stays the same. We know one size doesn't fit all. Over a dozen different mattresses qualify for this offer. Have a better school year this year. Get the Better Mattress Back to School bundle deal while supplies last. Tell them Seth sent you and ask to try my mattress. Don't wait, shop now. Chat live with a representative at bedrmattress.com. Good night just got better.
Beatty Chevrolet is celebrating 85 years of low prices. And during Truck Month, choose from over 400 trucks and SUVs, all deeply discounted. Like a new Silverado, now 25% off. A new Equinox, now 20% off. And a certified pre-owned 15 Equinox or Terrain, now $16,995. Plus, buy with confidence with the Beatty warranty for life.
Big selection and even bigger savings. That's why it's better at Beatty Chevrolet.
Stock number 232, savings off MSRP, include all dealer savings and manufacturer incentives with approved credit list finance through GMF. Offer expires 8/31/18.
Big Orange football is better alongside another Tennessee tradition, Mrs. Grissom's salad. Mrs. Grissom's ready-made snacks and meals are perfect for game day. Crowd favorites like the select pimento cheese and cranberry pecan chicken salad are delicious and easy to grab and go right from the grocery store. Going to the game? Visit Mrs. Grissom's in Vol Village for the must-have panini grilled pimento cheese hot dog. Man, select the best. Select Tennessee's own Mrs. Grissom's.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
Let's go to the B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Let's bring in, and this person, you just got to pray for him at least once a week. I mean, he lives in Gainesville, so you just got to say some prayers for him. Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers at least once a week. And that is John in Gainesville. John, good morning.
Especially since I was at the swamp for both of those brutal losses against Tennessee.
Yeah.
All the Hail Mary right on the 50, man. I want to jump over that line and choke Butch Jones.
Yeah, I understand there.
I will say the only thing that's better under Butch Jones so far is the dang shoes they coming out with. And, like, man, these last two pair are brutal. I don't know what in the world they're doing with these orange kids they just came out with.
I'm actually a fan of them compared to the other ones. I thought the other ones were kind of rough.
Is that Charlie?
No, this is Ben speaking.
Okay.
I actually kind of like the men's version this year, rather compared to what they have been. They're not the greatest on the planet, but compared to what they've been the past 2 years, I think they're better.
I respect Ben's a little bit. I can't take Charlie's advice on fashion. He shops at Baby Gap.
Hey, buddy. No, you shouldn't. You absolutely should not take my advice on fashion, 100%. But I will say that I agree with you. I'm not a fan of those shoes. So
I'm not either, man. I can't support those at 40 years old. One thing I will say, I'm noticing from practice, and maybe it's just me, I hadn't seen our receivers snatching the ball out there like they've been doing in these last practices. I don't know. Obviously, that's coaching. The best person I ever saw at that was Chris Carter. That dude could just snatch the ball anywhere. There's a difference between letting the ball come get you or you have your hands ready just snatching it. Like you actually got your eyes on the ball. And I was just watching some highlights yesterday, and that was the biggest thing I hadn't seen in years since former. These receivers just snatching the ball out of the air. I hang up and listen, man. Love the show.
Hey, thank you, John. I think our receivers need to step it up more and more and more. I'm always going to be probably more critical of them than any other position because I played it and I expect the best from those guys. But I will say they've been making some plays. They've been making some plays. There was a run after catch for a score in the scrimmage on Sunday where it made the quarterback look better than what he really was, and that's what you got to have from these wide receivers. We need to have the ability to have a Marquez Callaway type of play that we saw in the first game of the season last year against Georgia Tech, taking a hitch route to the house. If the offensive coordinator has to scheme up plays perfectly to score, then we have failed in recruiting. We have failed in development. We have failed. There were some times where Coach Cut, based on the game film, made some touchdown type of play designs. So, for instance, against Cal in 06, he noticed that when there is a receiver lined up on in the slot and you take a running back and you put him in motion outside of the wide receiver, Cal showed on tape from the previous year they had problems adjusting to that motion where they left the seam wide open. So that was my touchdown. Really easy. Also, against Marshall that same year, Marshall on third down and short showed that the safety playing quarters, playing heavy run, that you could hit them with a hard play fake and throw it over the top. Well, I scored an easy touchdown there. But there's some plays where you gotta get it done. You can't rely on the offense coordinator to draw it up perfectly. Go make a play. Make somebody miss and go score. That's recruiting. That's development. And that is what we're going to need from these wide receivers to help out Jerry, to help out Killer Christo, whoever. We need some guys taking some hitch routes or taking a slant route, making a guy miss and going to the house. That's what we need. And saw some of that on Sunday in the first scrimmage. Now, I'm always going to say the receivers need to get better. I'm always going to say something about how we can improve because you can't be perfect, and that's the coach's job. So maybe I'm kind of in like coach mode, player mode because I lived that for 4 years, so I'm always like analyzing, always saying, "Oh, I mean, you caught it, but you could have caught it better." You had a big game, but you could have got 5 extra extra yards.
You got an 88 on your test, but you could have got an A.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I look at the wide receivers. But I will say the receivers have played very well so far in fall camp. We are approaching – it is hump day, so we are approaching the weekend. We are approaching another scrimmage, and I'm guessing this scrimmage will be at Neyland Stadium under the lights. And I think you're going to find some separation at certain positions. Do I expect Jeremy Pruitt to tell you who's separating and who's going to be a starter? No. But internally, I expect guys to start cementing themselves into starting positions. I expect that. We are 10 days away from game week. 10 days. So it's time to start thinking about who at all positions need to be taking first-team reps. This next scrimmage is going to tell you a lot. So if you had some critical errors in the first scrimmage, you didn't play as well as you want to, you can't afford to follow the last scrimmage up by another poor performance in this scrimmage. If you play well in the first scrimmage, you better make sure you do the same thing in this one because this scrimmage is going to hold a lot of weight. It's like having a course load of work. Well, the tests, they carry the most weight. Maybe the essays carry the most weight, not the in-class schoolwork. They're probably like 20% of your grade, 30% of your grade. The tests hold a larger weight. This is the test. This scrimmage is the test. The homework, that's practice at Haslam practice field. That is, period 2, period 4, 7-on-7, little team period, little thud here and there. The test, the mid-semester exam, that is the scrimmage on Sunday.
It's funny that you're correlating it to the classroom because a lot of classes you had 3 tests, and then in fall camp you have 3 scrimmages. And the first test, you kind of have you can not do well in the first test and be able to bounce back and do well the remaining of fall camp. But if you do well, or if you do bad on the first and the second test, you may have to take a W for that class.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You might need to
withdraw.
You might need to get on that J.J. Peterson plan and start redoing some classwork. Serious. I mean, you may think about bringing the teacher some a fruit basket.
Hey,
you might do something.
Do you want to meet at Starbucks to talk about this upcoming test? I'll buy you a coffee.
You need to put in some plans. Because you're in trouble. You got to basically ace your third test to make a C if you bomb the first 2. And so, I compare that to fall camp. You have tests, and that is the scrimmage. So quarterbacks, if you didn't play as well as you wanted to in the first scrimmage, you better bounce back and have a really good day because I can see a quarterback taking a step forward, creating some separation because it's time to start divvying up first-team reps. There's a difference, and I want you to listen when Pruitt talks about this. I hate to snitch on Pruitt here, but I got to educate my people here.
Well, you're used to snitching on people from Alabama anyways.
No, I'm not. I got to educate my people on when you are listening to Pruitt talk about reps, there's a difference between regular reps and first-team reps, okay? Regular reps, which is what everybody gets. Walk-ons get regular reps. Everyone gets reps. But the players that are counted on to play on Saturdays and help you win games, those guys get first-team reps and second-team reps. Those reps are different, okay? Those are different. 865-255-03, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's get to Vol Nation, who's calling in earlier this morning. Vol Nation, good morning.
Good morning, family. How y'all doing, man?
Man, wonderful. How are you?
I'm so jacked right now. I'm shaking. I'm ready.
What happened? What happened, Vol Nation? You ready for the UConn-Tennessee matchup?
If we can bring Shamika Holesclaw and all them back, yes.
Bring it back.
I remember those days. Those were some awesome games to watch, man. I'm telling you, to see Pat on the sideline and her squad out there compete. I mean, that's like awesome memories for me, So I love to see that rivalry renewed at that level, you know what I'm saying? But no, what I'm shaking right now is just I'm so jacked right now for football, man. I'm sitting here, man. It's, like you said, it was 10 days before we kick this thing off and start really prepping for West Virginia, and then, of course, getting these guys out here, got a scrimmage this week, and creating that separation and kind of identifying who's going to be doing what. And it's football time, man. It's football time, and I'm jacked up, and can't wait for that West Virginia game. Can't wait to go into the stadium because I was listening to a talk show the other day, and I really agreed with this guy. He said if we can beat West Virginia, he believed, he might be drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit, but as he broke it down, I kind of understood. He said he believed we could go 4-0. He didn't believe that we would lose to Florida. I don't particularly believe we'll lose to Florida either, myself. And that's exciting to me. But like I heard you last week, you saw some special things going on, but you were trying to, keep it 100, keep it real, trying to, not to go overkill yet. You wanted to get to this week. I can't wait till next week after you see this week's practice and you come on the radio and begin to tell us what you actually see. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, Vol Nation, let me jump in on you say you heard someone else speak about, Tennessee's first 4 games, that if Tennessee beats with West Virginia, they'll beat Florida. They should be able to. And I absolutely hate when people like myself and media guys do that.
Yeah.
I hate it because it's so it's so misleading. It's just talk. It sounds good. It just sounds good, right? But right. Every game is its own. You can absolutely beat the brakes off of West Virginia, who may turn out to be a better team than Florida, and you can lose against Florida. You can do that.
That's true.
It can happen. 06, Cal was top 10 in the country, had way more NFL players probably than the 06 Florida team. Probably. Preseason, Cal was better on paper. We beat Cal down, but we didn't beat Florida down at all. I mean, each game is different. Each game is its own. This is not a formula. It's not math where if you beat this team, you should be able to beat this team. It doesn't work that way. You can absolutely come out flat, or you can come out clicking and be on fire and everything just falls in your favor. That could happen. So it's one of the worst sports takes I think on the planet is to just say just because you beat this team, you're going to beat that team.
Now, do you think that West Virginia game being, it's the first game, so of course Pruitt's going to want to win that game, but of course, it depends, on how we come out and how we play. But then also that first SEC game against Florida at home. Those are two pretty big games. At least the Florida game I know is pretty huge.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you had to choose between the two, I'm sure we want to beat Florida compared to West Virginia.
Yes.
But in looking at it, I know you guys went over it, and I'll take this off the air, but I was looking at West Virginia. I was kind of going through their site, and they were going over their special teams and their running back situation and, their position. So I'm studying.
I like it, Vol Nation. Get them.
And so, but I was reading an article, and they talked about, and you guys touched on it, which gave me some hope. Their offense is loaded. I mean, they got people like, I think, Gary Jennings, senior wide receiver, that's going to be doing big things. They got a running back that's a junior, but he only got 1 year of experience. And he's like 6 feet, 198 pounds. Of course, you got Will Greer. They talked about their offensive line and how huge they are. They're averaging 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 310, 15, 20 pounds or whatever. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But that's on offense. They didn't talk a whole lot about the defense. So I had to really stretch to find some defense stuff, and then I began to see why. And see, last season they gave up on an average 446 yards per game. They surrendered 204 yards of rushing in the Big 12 every game. The Kansas Jayhawks, who was 1-11 last year, ran 50 times for 367 yards. That's about 7 yards a carry. And they had a grand total of 564 yards in that game, but they lost 52-34. All right, they lost some people. They lost one of their leading tacklers. They lost 5 of their top 7 leading tacklers, and they lost 3 of their 5 defensive backs from last year. And so they've had a lot of attrition, even though they did bring in a few guys like Jabril Robertson from Clemson and Kennedy Bigelow from Southern Cal, but they may have some medical issues or whatever. But they're expecting them to come in and do big things. And so when I started looking at this, and then they run a 3-3-5, and that's where I wanted you to kind of talk about today what a 3-3-5 looks like against maybe our offense and how we can attack that. And with all this attrition and having all these new players, how that might impact their defense even more. And because they've lost all these people, they weren't very good anyway. You know what I'm saying? And they lose all these people, and they run in this 3-3-5 against us. And I was thinking, if we can run physically and dominate the football through running and beat them up, control the clock, move the football, keep their offense off the field, pressure the quarterback like you were mentioning. This is where I was thinking that we could go in, and if we're in there in the third and fourth quarter, we have a shot of doing whatever we want to do. Because if we're physical and we're out-physicaling them, we're going to take their heart by the third or fourth quarter. And we'll be able to do whatever we want to on the football field offensively. If the key is our defense being able to go out there and get that front seven being able to exert themselves against this huge offensive line. And like I mentioned yesterday, maybe make them one-dimensional where, Will Greer already has a tendency of kind of throwing that thing all around the football field, because that's what he did, 3,500 yards last year, I believe, and I can't remember how many touchdowns. I think it was like 35 touchdowns, whatever, some ridiculous number. And he was hurt most of the season, you know what I'm saying? And so he's going to have that little edge. But like I said, we can get him off his spot, get him to thinking. It may be a pretty interesting game.
Vol Nation?
Yeah,
I need to get you off the phone, man. You fire me up too much. You need to stop, man, because I just had some coffee this morning. I've been up since 5 something. I'm pumped up. Vol Nation, I can't get pumped up too much. I got a show to do. I gotta be calm. I gotta be level headed. Vol Nation, I gotta let you go because you're too fired up. Okay.
Hey man, appreciate you guys, but just want to take that off the air. That's what I got, man. Tell me if I'm missing something.
You're not missing anything. You're spot on. And that's why there's no way to say if you beat West Virginia, you can beat Florida. No, you recruit the same guys that Florida and Georgia, Alabama recruiting. So you play against bigger dudes that share a similar philosophy. Vol Nation mentioned the 3-3-5. I wish that y'all – I'm talking about West Virginia, would line up 3 dudes on the front versus dudes like Trey Smith and Brandon Kennedy and some beef up front. Beef.
Even Drew Richmond, big old boy.
Beef up front. And that is where Tennessee's going to have the advantage. They have to make sure they exploit West Virginia, and that is running the football right down their throat and saying, I will take 4 yards all day long. And that is a win. That is a win all day. 4-yard runs. If you can have 4-yard runs against West Virginia, the more of those you can have, the better. You give it your chance, a really good chance to win the game. But Vol Nation, in my opinion, is spot on. We need to take this phone call. We need to go to break. We're going to move Attaboy. That's
Vol Nation on hold.
Okay, cool.
I didn't drop them.
Okay, cool. So what we'll do, we will just take a break at the top of the hour. We will come back with touchdown turnover. We'll move Attaboy to
8:15.
We'll try to do it then. We have Chris Lowe that's going to join us in hour 2, and we have Austin Price that's going to join us as well in hour 3, Talk Recruiting. So we got a packed show, good stuff from Vol Nation. That call was worth shuffling things around a little bit here on the show. That was some good stuff from Vol Nation.
When he was listing off everything that Tennessee needs to do, I mean, I forget what he said. I felt the spirit move. I'll say that. It was just, I felt like Holy Ghost and like, oh, yes, preach that. I was feeling it.
Well,
as he often does, Vol Nation nailed that call.
Well, yeah, he was talking about West Virginia, giving up a lot of yards last year, 200-something yards on the ground, a lot of yards in the air. I do look at the conference they played in, how the conference just didn't value defense. I look more at the rushing yards allowed more so than the passing yards allowed, because that's just a pass-happy league. There at the Big 12 that don't play a lot of tough defense. That is a stat that's very significant and important to Tennessee. That's what Vol Nation pointed out. He pointed out how potent West Virginia's offense has the potential to be, and that's again why we should really have some success running the football. The call was on point. The call was on point. Yep. It really was.
The thing with West Virginia's defense is, I watched that Kansas game, and it was brutal. West Virginia's defense was as bad of a performance as I can remember. It's not that they were just giving up big plays. It was just the effort was not there. It was just sloppy tackling, poor miscommunication, just guys in the wrong spots at all times. It seemed like they had no idea what to do, and you could credit that to being a one-game thing. But then you put on the tape against Baylor, an 0-6 football team, when they played them, and they did the exact same thing. Baylor, with zero talent on offense, was able to do whatever, whenever they wanted to.
And what you're referring to is that with the Kansas game, is that they gave up 367 yards on the ground against.
It was sloppy tackling.
Kansas.
I mean, West Virginia has one guy on defense, David Long, the linebacker, and he's an absolute stud. 2nd, 3rd, 4th-round pick, will play a long time in the NFL. He's a stud. But he's coming off of an injury, and he can't do it by himself. And I will say with the 3-3-5, one thing is they have a 6-man front, essentially, but they like to take 2 of those DBs in the backfield and use them as hybrid outside linebackers, hybrid safeties, and I imagine against Tennessee they'll load up in the box with them.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have enough weight in the pants. That's the thing. In the Big 12, you can do that, the 3-3-5, and have a bunch of guys that can cover in space, but you better have some beef. Mm-hmm. So when we go heavy packages, I said that. When we go to our heavy package set, what is West Virginia going to do? Do they have the personnel to match up with Tennessee's players? And that is a very, very important question. We'll take a break. Hour 2 is coming up. Top of the hour. Timeout. Stay with the Swain event fueled by Day and Barbecue.
Hour 1 of the Swain event is driven by Toyota Knoxville. Stop by Toyota Knoxville to see their great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. They are conveniently located off the Lovell Road exit at 10415 Parkside Drive, right here in Knoxville.
There's a 20% chance of rain today, mostly sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 68. Tomorrow, another 20% chance, sunny, hot, and windy with a high of 90 and a low of 70. Friday, the chance of rain increases to 50%, mostly cloudy with a high in the lower 80s. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, That's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense.
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
It's almost football time in Tennessee, which means it's time to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Tommy Bahama, and all those retro logos you love. Don't forget about your game day crew. Plenty of selection for the ladies, the little balls, and to upgrade their tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com.
Hey Annie, you're the spokesperson for Toyota Knoxville, right?
That's right.
Why should I buy from Toyota Knoxville?
Are you looking for new or used vehicles?
Does it matter?
No, because Toyota Knoxville has over 390 new Toyotas on the ground and over 350 pre-owned vehicles available to choose from.
Okay, so big selection.
And a lifetime warranty at no charge on all new and select pre-owned vehicles.
A lifetime warranty.
A non-factory limited lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited miles. Plus 30 years of experience in Knoxville, not just serving our customers, serving our community.
And the buying experience?
Hello, it's Toyota Knoxville. Read the reviews. Talk to anybody that's been there.
Okay. Where am I going?
Toyota Knoxville is at I-40 and the Lover Road exit. Go to Parkside Drive. You can't miss it.
Can I tell them Annie sent me?
I wish you would. If you're passionate about the car you drive, come meet the people that are passionate about the way they sell at Toyota Knoxville. ToyotaKnoxville.com. Warranty good at participating dealers.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy.
It is time for Attaboy, where we highlight positivity inside and outside the world of sports. Attaboy is sponsored by Premier Surgical and PremierSurgical.com.
Having surgery can be scary, and having to navigate a massive medical center can be even more overwhelming. Fortunately, there is the Premier Office-Based Surgery Center in Knoxville over on Paper Mill Drive. It's a convenient and affordable option for your surgical care. They have skilled surgeons and a friendly staff that will treat you just like family, and their state-certified accredited center is designed for your comfort. Visit PremierSurgeryPackages.com for all of their details. That is the Premier Office-Based Surgery Center. Surgical expertise you can trust. I just have a quick attaboy for Killer Chris. Now, is it because he shined in the game or whatever, or in the scrimmage, I mean? No. It's because he's on the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm watch list. Now,
Does the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm watch list think that he's going to be the starter? Maybe. But the main attaboy here is that Keller Christ is an exemplary student athlete. Now, I get what you all are doing here. The fact that Keller Christ is probably not going to be the starter, blah, blah, blah. I get it, but here's the attaboy. Because he is the prime example of a great student athlete, two-time Pac-12 academic honorable mention selection, while starting in 13 games at Stanford. And the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award is presented by their educational foundation, and it's not presented to the best player. It is presented to the player that encapsulates all that is positive in college sports. So, it's not that this is an attaboy for his great play. It is an attaboy for the fact that he is a great student mixed with being an athlete. And so, there you go. I brought it back around on you. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% right. I think with those preseason awards, it's really weird when guys get preseason awards that are in battles like a Keller Christ. But because it's academic, I totally understand why.
You look like Wilson. You look like Wilson right now. All we see on Facebook Live is your
It's just the top of your face right there.
Because it's awkward, man. It's awkward when you have a player that may not play, may not start, being nationally recognized, and it comes across that it is a on the field award when really it's not.
Yeah, it's not an
and so when you hear Johnny Unitas Golden Arm, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, this is an on the field award. So that's why I'm slumping in my chair and sliding in my chair, and I'm still in this position because I can't get up.
I was also going to add that.
I got.
You need some help over there?
Yeah, actually, I do need some help. So I'm just gonna sit right here until we take a break, and then
you're gonna roll over.
I'm just gonna try to get up the best way I can without embarrassing myself.
How do they say when there's a fire? Stop, drop, and roll.
I'm gonna stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. All right. So, do you have attaboy Ben?
I do. Quick one. You have to give Ronald Acuna Jr. an attaboy for what he's doing on the baseball field right now.
That was my attaboy.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yep. Pardon me. Wow. I'm proud of you.
I got it right here,
Swain
man.
was going to give a baseball attaboy.
You get the attaboy.
No, man. I barely can breathe down here, so go ahead.
Well,
you got it.
Acuna has now hit 8 home runs in the span of 8 games, and yesterday the Braves played a doubleheader against the Marlins. Oh, excuse me, that was the day before yesterday. And in the first game of the doubleheader, Ronald Acuna led off with a home run. And then in the second game of the doubleheader, Ronald Acuna led off with a home run. And then the Braves and Marlins played last night, and Ronald Acuna led off with a home run.
Stop pitching to him.
I don't understand. He's the Braves' leadoff batter, obviously, and the pitchers are just grooving fastballs right over the plate. Because from a pitcher standpoint, I've heard CC Sabathia say this. He throws a fastball every time because it's a confidence thing. It's an ego thing. It's my 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Hit it. So he kind of wants to groove in that first pitch, and Ronald Acuna is having none of it. He is going to ambush that pitch, as he has shown. He's now homered 8 times in an 8-game span, 6 times in a 5-game span, in 5 straight games. Just ridiculous stat after ridiculous stat. And right now, him and Juan Soto of the Nationals are fighting it out for the NL Rookie of the Year award.
He's made history. He's the 4th player in Major League history to hit leadoff homers in both games of a doubleheader. He's also the youngest player in Major League history to homer in 5 straight games, hitting a leadoff shot on the first pitch and adding a 3 long ball in the 7th inning to help the Braves beat the Marlins. So he's making history, man. He is lighting it up. So, yeah, I had a baseball attaboy.
I'm very proud of you.
That's right. I got proof right here. Charlie can tell you. I had it pulled up, ready to go.
It's true.
Yep. I mean, I'm all around. All around, man.
You look like Wilson.
Dude, I'm about to fall. It's a good ab workout, though. I'm over here shaking.
I bet.
Do we need to go to break?
Probably in a little bit, so I can get up. I'm afraid if I move, like the chair's gonna slide back, and I'm gonna be on for what today? So, you know what? Let's just talk to Chris Lowe. Let's just do that, okay? We're gonna talk to Chris Lowe. He wrote an amazing article that is there on utsports.com about the '98 championship team. This year is about celebrating the 20-year anniversary of that championship team. So good quotes in there from Al Wilson, Pillars Price. We will talk to Chris Lowe coming up next here on the Swain event. His segment is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Medicine.
Barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a new slew of daily specials. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the Chipotle chicken salad, the chicken tender sandwich, or the kitchen sink burrito filled with brisket, pulled pork, and chicken, not to mention queso, jalapenos, and more. It's called the kitchen sink for a reason. Dead End isn't stopping at your plate, though. Be sure to check out their new summer drink offerings, including the Big Orange Crush, My Clementine, or the Tequila Squirt. There is always something new at Dead End Barbecue. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End Barbecue. The summer flavor search is over.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today. We're here with Dr. Mike Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, or instability, Achilles tendonitis, golfers, or tennis elbow, do what I did and give them a call.
Yeah, Jason, we specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including things like rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow problems, as well as foot problems like plantar fasciitis, Achilles, things of that nature, by injecting with stem cells and what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment we do under ultrasound, so we know we have our target. And it also stimulates the body's own reparative process, and this allows for the healing of damaged tissue. And as you well know, numerous professional and collegiate athletes, guys like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and even yourself with your ankle injury, have been using this form of treatment for years. And so we offer that same type of treatment here in East Tennessee.
Visit them on the web at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in regenerative therapy.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Looking for a different way to enjoy the Swain event? Then check out Swain Event TV, brought to you by Toyota Knoxville. Follow the show on Periscope and Facebook Live.
When you know Chris Lowe is joining the show on the Swain event, there's no need to set an alarm clock because you just get up. You get up at like 4:30. You get up at 5 o'clock. You get up at 5:15 wondering, is it showtime? Do I get a chance to talk to Chris Lowe? And now we talk to Chris Lowe, the famous Chris Lowe, here on the Swain event. His segment is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. Chris Lowe. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jason. How are you, man?
Man, I'm wonderful, man. I've been waiting on this moment for hours, man, to talk to you about this awesome article here. You got quotes from Pillars Price, Al Wilson. When I see a quote from Al Wilson, I get pumped up. This is going to be a fiery day today with some of our phone calls and then seeing Al Wilson's quote. But, man, you talked to some big-time players in this article. One thing that stood out to me, Chris, is the makeup of this football team. there's a note in here on your article that there were players represented from 12 different states: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Illinois, Maryland, Mississippi, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. 11 of the starters were from either Georgia or the Carolinas. 11 starters from Georgia or Carolina. The makeup of the top players in the country really hasn't changed much. If you look at it, those players still are in those areas. It makes you kind of think about, okay, what Tennessee has to do now. But that really stood out to me, Chris.
Well, you're right, and Jason, it's a reminder of the recruiting reach that the program had under Coach Fulmer at that time, and the way that Tennessee was able to go into those neighboring states and beat, talent, tradition-rich programs for good football players. I think outside of Florida, the percentage of players recruited in the state by Division I schools or FBS schools is Georgia, which is not surprising. I mean, now Georgia's not as big as the state of Florida, but per capita, there's as many good football players in the state of Georgia as there is anywhere in the country. Certainly elite football players that are recruited by FBS schools. So what's that tell you? That Tennessee is not going to get every great player in Georgia, obviously, not with Kirby Smart recruiting the way he is, and Auburn and Alabama and Florida all recruiting that state. But you got to get some every year. You look at that team in '98, and Jamal Lewis was from Georgia, Deion Grant, Fred White, Steve Johnson. And I'm forgetting other guys, but there were a ton of key guys. Cozy Coleman was from Georgia. There were a ton of key guys on that team from Georgia. And I think the Carolinas are equally important, not just South Carolina, but North Carolina. Sean Bryson was a North Carolina kid. Now, Jay Graham wasn't on that team, but he was from just north of Charlotte. Leonard Lowell the year before on the '97 SEC championship team was from Asheville. So those states, and Jeremy Pruitt knows this. I mean, he certainly knows it better than I do. Are going to be critical to Tennessee if Tennessee can get its program back to being elite again and being a team that competes for championships. It's been a long time. It really has. And as I worked on that article a month or so ago and talked to all these guys, and the cool thing about doing that story is I was there. I covered that team. I was there every practice, every game. Still keep in touch with all those guys. I still talk regularly with Al. I had a chance to catch up with Pierre. I still talk to Fred White. A ton of those guys. T. I see T a ton. Now that he's at USC, and just sort of going down memory lane. But it reminded me of, I guess we all, and I'm included in this, we all took for granted during that time of the kind of talent that was flowing through the campus at UT. I mean, you just, when I go over there now, and I know Jeremy Pruitt is working hard to get this back. It's going to take a while. But you don't see guys like Fred Weary and Cozy Coleman and Jamal Lewis and Deion Grant, walking across campus, Billy Ratliff. I mean, those kind of guys. I mean, think about that backfield that year, Jason. You had in the same backfield Sean Bryson, Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, Travis Stevens. Jamal Lewis was the best running back in college football that year. He gets hurt in the third game. Tennessee didn't skip a beat the rest of the year. And I remember talking to Billy Ratliff and Fred, some of those guys, about that. And they said, listen, we knew how low we were at running back on defense because we were having to tackle those guys every day. I think it was Fred, I don't know if it's Billy or Fred, that said, tackling Travis Henry was like trying to tackle bowling balls. So we knew what everybody else were facing on defense that we played that year. And even though Jamal was a great football player, we knew we were going to drop off. But that's kind of depth and talent that team has, or had, and that's kind of depth and talent that Alabama has now. That's what it takes to win at a high level, and that's what Jeremy and his staff are working toward.
You talked to several guys here noted in this article. Are there some quotes that stood out from conversations you've had with members of the 98 team that you did not put in the article that is, worth mentioning today?
Yeah, well, Peerless and I talked a lot about sort of what we were just talking about the incredible collection of talent of that team. The funny thing, too, is that team sort of touted itself, Jason, has been a team of no stars. And the reason being is they just lost Peyton. They just lost Leonard Little, Marcus Nash. You had all these guys that were being selected in the draft. And I think there was a general sense, even Coach Foreman did this, there was a general sense around the program, not in that locker room, I can promise you, but around the program, that Tennessee's window to win a championship had closed because Peyton was gone. Well, nothing against Peyton, but those guys in the team, Al Wilson and Billy Ratliff, Fred White, Peerless, T, they took that personally.
They should.
And they knew they were talented. And you can go back and look at that team. Go back and look at how many, I think I put the numbers in the story, how many guys on that team played pro football. And Peerless and I were talking about that. Peerless played 9 or 10 years in the league. And Peerless is like, I'm not sure that Tennessee will get all the way back to that point. Maybe they will. He said, I certainly hope they will in my lifetime. He said, but that was a time in Tennessee football history that was special. And we know I think the way you put it is because we know it can happen. We did it. But you're going to have to hit it just right. And I think that's why people ask about Pruitt and why Philip went with Pruitt. I think Jeremy's background of being a recruiter and evaluating talent and having connections and ties in the SEC footprint. And I think probably just as important, Jason, the staff of recruiters, coaches that he's assembled around him at least gives Tennessee a chance to go out and do that. The landscape's different now, too. Let's be honest. And that doesn't diminish anything that they did then. But, you didn't have Dabo Sweeney over in South Carolina recruiting like crazy. You didn't have, Kirby. And I think at that point, Donnan was at Georgia. So you didn't have Kirby Smart and his recruiting machine at Georgia. You had Brad Scott at South Carolina. So it was, the surrounding states were a little bit more vulnerable to go in and get players. And let's face it, Coach Foreman had built the program to a point from a prestige standpoint and the kind of talent they were getting in there that those kids wanted to come to Tennessee. They were able to build off what Peyton had done and what Heath Short had done for him and a lot of those players. And I think that's why it takes, it sort of manifests itself, and that's why it's not an overnight fix. But I think a lot of those players on that team that I've talked to, they're a lot like you. I mean, they're pissed that the program has slipped the way it has. Pardon my French. I think about every one of them use that word. Some of them use stronger language because they still bleed orange, from Al to Peerless to Fred to Billy Ratliff, Jeff Hall, all the guys I talked to, Spencer Riley. There's immense pride among that group, among the selection of players who played in that era. And even before that, you talked to Leonard Little and some of those guys. They were 45-5, Jason. Tennessee was from 95 to 98, 45-5 with 2 SEC titles and 1 national title. In fact, when they won SEC titles in 97 and 98 back-to-back, they were nobody in the SEC had won back-to-back SEC titles until Alabama in this most recent run where they've won 3 straight. So think about that. Almost 20 years went by before anybody repeated his SEC championship again, which tells you how hard it is to do that and just what an accomplishment that was. So that's the blueprint for all Tennessee fans. Is it the expectation again? Is that the standard? That's a hell of a standard to get up to, to live up to. But I think that's what, if you talk to most Tennessee fans, and certainly if you talk to Philip Fulmer and Jeremy Pruitt, they expect to play for and win championships.
Chris Lowe here on the Swain event via the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Chris, there's a potential awkward situation that is out in front of us here. It's a pink elephant in the room, and I want to bring it up today because I can see this being a conversation here in a couple weeks. And the potential awkward situation is that you have T. Martin, who was the quarterback on that team, won a championship. He did not get an interview like many of us thought he would get when the coaching search was going on for Tennessee. And you're honoring this team. Now, USC, Chris, they play on a Thursday night that week. And many folks will be wondering, is T. Martin going to join his teammates here in Knoxville? And I want to make sure folks understand that T. Martin has a son that is playing D1 football too. And so Amari Rogers is at Clemson, and I don't know if T. Martin has the opportunity to really go to one of his son's games like this. Cool opportunity. So you got opportunity to come here, be recognized with your teammates, even though the situation is awkward, what happened there with the coaching search. But he does have a son who's playing major college football, and he won't have many opportunities to be able to do that, and that's go watch Amari play. What do you think about what I just said about maybe that potential awkward situation for T. Martin?
I can tell you this, Jason. I've talked to T a bunch for the last couple of years. Talked to him a bunch during that process. In fact, we texted last night. And we've remained close. And of course, I covered T that year. It's been pretty cool to watch his career grow, from when he was down. I guess he was coaching small college ball to Kentucky and now being at USC. I don't want to really speak too much for T because I don't think that's fair.
Yep.
But what I will say is this. I've learned as I've gotten older that it's hard to really judge. We shouldn't judge, period. But it's hard to express what someone's feeling or what someone's going through unless you've walked in their shoes. And so I would say put yourself in T's shoes during that process. He won a national championship at Tennessee. He's been a real successful offensive coordinator at USC. He loves Tennessee, and he didn't get an interview, rightfully or wrongfully so. Now, Coach Fulmer did talk to him, but he didn't get a formal interview. He didn't at least get a chance to say, hey, sit down and this is my vision for the program. This is my plan. This is what I think I can do. This is how we're going to do it. This is who I'm going to hire. I know he deserved that opportunity. Maybe I'm biased because T and I go back a long way.
Mm-hmm.
That's no reflection of who Coach Fulmer hired or Jeremy. I think he's got the kind of guy and the right guy to get Tennessee back. But I know this also about T because we've talked about it a lot. T has unbelievable memories of that team and that season and what that season and that team meant to the university, to the state. He's not bitter. I know some people have said that he might be. He loves that team. We talked at length. T was gracious enough the time he gave me because I did that story. And when you go back and read the story, he's quoted extensively throughout that story, talking about the team and the guys on that team. They still keep in touch with T and love him and know what kind of competitor he was. Imagine stepping in the shoes that he did. Imagine following Peyton Manning as quarterback. And T just was unflappable that year. He wasn't perfect. He started slowly, but as Al said in the article, he never flinched, man. He just kept getting better and better and made big play after big play. And that's the part that I know T cherishes, the fact that that team came together and did something so special, unbeaten, won a national championship. Is he disappointed in the way that the hiring process went down? Absolutely. But I don't think that in any way in his mind diminishes what happened 20 years ago. I think he's moved on. I probably would too. He's going to be a head coach at some point somewhere. There's no doubt in my mind. And he should get that shot. Now, whether he comes back or not for the reunion, we haven't really talked about that. I know that it's not like he's said he's never going to come back or anything like that. But you're right, Amari plays at Clemson, and I know if he's got a chance to go see his son play that weekend, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot made of it, why he is or why he's not there. Family's going to come first, and that Tennessee football team certainly is his family, but Amari's his son.
Exactly.
That's going to win out every time. So I would ask Tennessee fans, whatever happens along those lines, to remember T. Martin and what he meant to that team, the way he patiently, and let's not forget this, he patiently waited his turn. You know, when Peyton decided to come back in '97, and what a great deal that was for Tennessee, for college football. But put yourself in T's shoes. So he thought it was going to be his gig for 2 years. Well, he really only ended up, for 3 years, actually. He only ended up getting those 2 years, 98, 99, but he never complained. He continued to work. He hung in there. Imagine this day and age that had happened. I guarantee you most quarterbacks would have cut and run and transferred somewhere else or tried to go somewhere else. But T didn't. He stuck it out. He was one of the leaders on that 98 team. And, hey, in 99, if they could make 3rd and 2 against Florida, or even if they don't give up the long touchdown against Arkansas, they're playing for it again, the national championship. So I'm a big T. Martin fan, always have been. Great heart, and a guy that I don't know anybody on that football team that played with him. Whether it was a center, Spencer Riley, whether it was guys on defense like Julie Rowell or Al Wilson. You don't have anything but good